Hey, 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 champions! Welcome to the Culture Mindset Show. I am Akinjari Jeremiah Olamide, your host. On the Culture Mindset Show, we help believers and kingdom citizens to be the best versions of themselves, to leave an indelible mark in the world as they live in it. With me today is my wonderful, awesome guest, Akinjari Victoria Olua Damilola. Doctor, doctor, I'm very sorry. She is a doctor, Dr. Akinjari Victoria Olua Damilola. She said I should put it, and that is it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for accepting to be on this awesome show. I'm very blessed to have you. We are blessed to have you, and she is a medical doctor, she is a singer, and she's a chef. You know why I put the chef? Because she used to create amazing and tantalizing dishes in the kitchen. I mean, stunning dishes. So that's why I put the chef there. That's why I put the chef there. It's an honor to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. She's also my sister, my immediate younger sister. Yes, yes. So our topic today is passion in fulfilling purpose in the life of a believer and kingdom citizen. Passion in fulfilling purpose in the life of a believer and a kingdom citizen. Let's get started with your background. Take us back to Damilola 5 years ago, when she was 5 years old. When she was 5 years old, up until now.
Mhm. Okay. Do I remember? No, there's a question.
You can start from where you remember in your childhood.
Um. Okay. We. we I was when Port Harcourt until when I was 9. Yes, because I remembered celebrating my 10th birthday in Lagos. And I think the major thing I remember doing, but the two major things I remember in Port Harcourt was the first thing was always after school, mom would buy roasted yam and then roasted plantain,
Only.
and yes, with that they have very nice pepper sauce.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Then the other one I remember was always because where we were staying at that time was close to when we were living in Port Harcourt was when those um robbers were rampant at that new market. So it was like every time they had a shootout or something, mom would just quickly come home and pack all of us to Auntie Funke's house at that time. So those were the two things I really remember from Port Harcourt. Then when we came to Lagos, it was trying to find school, and then I remember the time mom was like almost threatening us that we'll go to one box school like that in our street. And I was like, Mom, it's not possible. I'd rather not go to school than go to that place. So we finally found Edidot though, and yes, we found Edidot, and I joined in primary four. Yes, I was in primary four when I joined, and yeah, that was basically for this thing. Well, I do know yeah that all through from nursery to SS1.
Yeah.
Yes, from nursery to SS1, I've been getting first position, first position, first position. So yeah, to SS2, sorry, I was getting first position. But then in SS2, even though I got first position, the all the prizes for each of the subjects were more shared than before.
Okay.
So at that point, that was already looking at me like, this game you're playing already. So when SS3 came, and um, I didn't get any. I didn't get first position. It was only one prize I ended up getting SS3, like during the um graduation ceremony. And immediately after the graduation ceremony, we hadn't entered the cab, and Daddy was already shouting. He was shouting that, how did you allow them to carry all the prizes? That land will have been yours if you collected first position, this, that. and I was because I was already feeling sad that period because of my WAEC results, which up till now I still feel that result was not mine. So when the graduation ceremony came and I didn't get first position and that was shouting, like I just felt so dampened in my spirit. I was like, is there any like reason to even try again? And then it to top it off, one of a family friend came to meet us and then was like, because he came with cash,
Okay.
right? Listen, it was not. He now came to me and I went. I wanted to give you this if you collected first position, but because you did not get first position, I'm pocketing it back. And in my head at that point, I was like, why let me know that you wanted to give me something if like I was like that period it was because that was the first time I've never collected first position prize in school, so I was very confused. It was like, is there can I still do this like thing that I want study this medicine that I wanted to study? Because even at that point, when I went back home, I stopped searching for medical related courses. I was now searching um some some other like 3 year course that I could do. Then that now came. I was like, oh, I that what I should try Ukraine. And at that point, that was the first time I was hearing Ukraine. I was like, I don't want to go. I remember I was even telling him I don't want to go. Mom was like, I should just try that cousin Wednesday and graduated from there. That is nice. So at enter that time when we were not plan like we are planning the trip, the study in Ukraine. My entire head was the same. I was going to study in the same city that Auntie Bukola studied.
Okay.
Only for me to get there, and then I realized that the city that she studied and the city I am studying are the opposite end of Ukraine. And where I was studying was not like bordering Russia. Like literally, it was just how many minutes drive from there to Russia.
Okay.
So every like that period, and that city is filled. It was a city filled with elderlies. So it was like there were not a lot of people that you could relate with except your classmates. And at that point, I don't think I've ever told them. I've told my friends, but I don't think I've told anybody I've told. So that's we had an organization in Ukraine, in the Nigerian Students Organization Union. So that period they had a program, and I mentioned it to dad that okay, we have this. It was a fashion show program, so we had this fashion show that I would like to attend because at that point I realized that I was locking myself inside too much. So I let them just go out that day. So I went for the program. It was very lovely, and then Nat told me, "Oh, there's an after party," and then me not knowing what an after party entailed. I said, okay, I'll go. So we got back to the hostel to change for the after party, and then I went, and then I realized that the after party was held in a club, and I was like, okay. And at that point, I was very broke because so I didn't even have transport to like just book a taxi back home. I had to wait for my friends so that we'll share the taxi. So, but they were not ready to leave until 6 a.m. So at that point, I was like, okay, let me let me stand in one corner to dance. But even that one corner, they were not letting me go. So I just went to go and sit down gently. And then at the point, if when I was like it was this spirit that was leading on feminine code. So I was like, oh, how do I tell him that? Sorry, I'm not currently in the hostel. So I picked the call and it was like, oh, how are you? Everything. We're talking, and then he asked, where are you? And then I was like, oh, yeah, I tried to, I can't remember what exactly the detail, but I think I diverted the entire conversation away from where are you. So after the call, I ended up sleep. Like I just carried myself because I was sitting at like it was a couch, a square couch. So I carried myself from the edge I was sitting and went to sit down in between two of my friends and slept off. until they were ready to go. And then everybody I've told that I slept in the club, they're like, how did you sleep in the club with all the banging music? And it was like, well, I did. Don't ask me how I did. So when I got back, I was like, nah, outside life is not for me. So ever since then, like I've just been inside from my hostel to school, this thing, and that's when the Ukraine war has started. And before the Ukraine war started, there had been warning signs. And then I thought, when that period, I was not talking with daddy that, oh, daddy was telling me, come back home, come back to Nigeria, we'll figure it out. I was like, I don't want to come back. Like, don't worry, let's wait for this thing, let's wait for school to release us. That was when it first started. Then when we saw it was escalating, and the conversation has switched. So it was me now going, so I want to come back. That was like, just wait for school to release you now. School did not release us. So I remember because I still have the pictures from the night before. The night before the war started was my roommate's birthday. Like we both of us traveled to Ukraine together.
Okay.
So it was her birthday, and we had just gone to a restaurant that night, taking pictures, celebrated the birthday, and we got back quite late. We got back around 10. And then that I slept when I got back because I slept. I think that's when that period I had very bad insomnia. So I was still awake till around 3 a.m. So before I finally slept. And that's when my neighbor came. I was like, deep weekend, deep weekend. I was like, at that point, I had just slept off. So it was like, whatever you want to tell me right now, please move away. Like, let me sleep. And then she was like, they bombed Kiev. And I was like, it's a lie. Like, it's a lie. Go away. Like, I didn't, like, at that point, nothing was registering in my head. I didn't want to believe. I was very sleepy. And that's how she now showed me the news of the this. And I was like, at that point, the sleep wiped away. I was like, they really did? At that point, I was like, wow. And I remember my reaction was not scared. I was just fascinated. I'm very fascinated, like, wow, they actually bombed. So I mean, I called daddy, and then that was like, fascist school, people should be finding a way to escape. And I remember I had a friend, I have a friend, not had, she's currently in Abuja right now. That period before the war started, she had already booked her flights to go to UK because her parents were there to go to UK, and she was supposed to go that weekend. And that's when the war started and all airlines were shut. So she couldn't. So we're all stuck together in Ukraine. And then it was that period of every time I think of Ukraine, the entire Ukraine war, fear was not one of the emotions that I remember having. Like it wasn't at all because we're a group of five, and I remember when we want to run to the bunker, we want to come out. I was always going, where is this person? Where is this person? Because probably that's why I didn't have time to be scared because I was more like, where are the people
Wait.
with? So there's been a time where we were running to the bunker, and then I was running down and somebody pushed me and I fell, and they almost like stepped on me to enter inside the bunker. But yes, even as I entered inside the bunker, I was like, nah, this people are running inside bunker too much. Like at the point itself, when we're inside they will ring the alarm, the citywide alarm will ring. Because when the alarm rings, you're supposed to run to the bunker in case there's a missile. I was like, why are we running down? why are we running? Because all the ones that you have been running to the bunker as the bomb actually hits. So it was my friend that was not even dragging that. Let's go, let's go. I entered bunker, and that's why at that point I was reading Psalm 91. Like I kept reciting it, and then mom called me that, tell me recite Psalm 91 and recite Psalm 121. And then it's like I was like, how did you know that's what I've been reciting since? So I kept reciting it. I was even dragging my friends that people should recite this too. But then they will start reciting, then they'll get too scared and then they'll stop reciting like it was. And one of the issue we and I had was one of our friends was Muslim, so she was like, how do I get that to calm down and all that? So there was even at the point we all got tired of from going from room to bunker, from room to bunker. So that day, the alarm rang, and then we all were like, you know what, we're not going. I remember that time because they told us we should be ready to run and this. So we packed what we could pack in a small bag,
Yeah.
and then we wore like three jackets, like three winter jackets, and then we're all in our winter boots. That because at that point there's no even time for you to be removing clothes, saying you want to remove wear and this thing, and we slept like that on the bed. The alarm rang, we refused to move. So nothing happened until 5 hours after. 5 hours after, the alarm did not ring. So we didn't even know what woke us up. We just heard going boom.
Wow.
But apparently, when the missile hit was in the province closest to Sumi. Like, because Sumi, how do I explain it? Sumi is a state in Ukraine.
Okay.
So in the states, there are different provinces. Where I was in Sumska Oblast.
Okay.
So there was another like province closest to.
So you
So that's where the missile hit. But we heard it so loud that the glasses in our hostel shook. Like that's how loud it was. So we all jumped out like, what's that? What's that? What's that? We came out like, oh, it was not our field that this thing happened. And then at that point, I then realized that why does it seem like God is protecting us? Because we're not hearing that, because we had at that point we had curfew. So we're not hearing that around that time, around 6 in the evening, the Russian tankers
Yeah.
we passed through Sumy to go and attack Kiev. But they did not hit Sumy. And then I was like, okay, so just stay clear away from them that you'll be safe for now. So when we got to, we all, because our hostels were separate, so we all decided to move to one hostel.
Okay.
And at that point, there was no taxi moving or anything, so we had to trek in the winter. And the trek was a long, very long trek. We trekked um to the other hostel, the very big hostel, and that's where we stayed till we were able to um get a taxi that would take us out of Sumy. And I remember there was this Ukrainian man. He was a taxi driver. God bless his soul if he's still alive, if he's still safe. This man, in everything, he had a family that was at home, and then he took it upon himself to help transport us students front and back. And he had the Nigerian, like he said, he loved Nigeria so much that would like to experience Nigeria after the war. So we're even gisting him about Nigeria because it will help us go front and back to go and pick load and orders. And then he tells us that we should at least be fast so that he can go back to his family to see if they are safe and all that. And it was even one that helped us to connect with other drivers that would take us out of Sumi. And I remember in all this, he was one thing that struck with me was when he mentioned our fate, that we we have this strong strong mind. That's how he puts it. And then he was like he loves our music, all that. And when we were living in Sumi, we went to because it was we had to go to all the way to Lviv. That was the city that I was supposed to study. I was thinking I was going to study So that because all the airlines were cut and Sumi was closer to Russia, so we had to go to Lviv where we crossed to another. We use a train to cross to another city, another country before we can take flights. So we had to go to Lviv, and Lviv was a 24-hour journey from Sumi. So we had to take a taxi to what's the name of this? I've forgotten the state again. To another state, and then from that state we took a train to Lviv. And in all this, mommy and dad will be calling me, and then I'm like, ma, because the confusion was everywhere. Because this friend is asking, plus people back home are calling. And I was like, can I, like, I know what you want me to escape, but give me a moment to actually like gather myself to think. And at the point I was like, mommy, please call, be calling Amida's number because they had that number then. And then we entered the train, and in the train they told us before they started moving that we should switch to airplane mode
Okay.
because the Russians were using it to track the people. So me being a good civilian switched to airplane mode. So halfway through the entire trip, and I know I stood for 24 hours because the train was moving slower than usual because they are trying to make sure that they are not drawing the attention of the Russians. And in that train, mommy and dad were trying to call. Because my phone was switched to airplane mode, they could not reach me. So they had to call Amida, and then that's how she gave me the phone. And then mommy started shouting at me, and I was trying to explain to her that I was following instructions. I was following instructions. And when I get to leave, I'll call you. She was like, even though did you know that people are worried? And I was like, and at that point I was like, yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. And then we got to Lviv. At that point, my leg was already tired. I couldn't walk because like everybody is because that was the meeting point for everybody in Ukraine. We couldn't move. It was like the place that I had been to just the summer before was now looking like a an entire because it became a temporary refugee site for the entirety of Ukraine. So we finally got to Ukraine and we're supposed to take a train to Hungary,
Yeah.
to Hungary's border. And we're now looking at the time that the train will come, and that was like it still had like 2 hours before the train was supposed to arrive. And we're like, okay, we'll wait. That's why we were waiting, and it was cold because the when I say there are a lot of things that cause global warming, that was my first hand experience with global warming because the winter had just ended,
Yes.
and then the moment the war started, winter started again. So it became so very like it was so cold, and we were waiting for the train. I don't know the time that they said the train was going to come. The train did not come, and we're like, sorry, this has never happened before. What's going on? Before when I heard that, wow, we should all keep our eyes peeled because we will not know when the train comes because they are using the time to confuse the Russian.
Okay.
So we won't know when the train comes. When the train comes, just enter. Don't even care where it's going, taking you to just enter. So when we saw the train that was coming, we all squeezed ourselves into the train. Finally got sleeper cabins. So I think we were in a sleeper cabin of four. We were six or seven inside that sleeper cabin. We all squeezed ourselves inside. And then we got to Hungry border, and the people there were very, very, very nice people. Like they were very welcoming, and I was like, they are very nice people. Like how do I put this? When you first go to all these European countries, they all act like you don't exist. Like everybody's on their own, like doing what they want to do. But the moment there's an issue or something that need help, they're always there at the forefront to help people. Because there were literally a lot of refugee spots that were not actual refugee camps, like just people from their homes coming out to like give out things to people. So when we got there, they just after we got our papers and everything, they drove us to the train station. And at the train station, there was this little cabin, like not cabin, a tent.
Yes.
And the lady in the tent came out like, "Oh, why are you people from Ukraine? Like, people should come and just pick whatever you want." Like, she was that nice. And I literally at that point when I got to be hungry, I enjoyed hungry that at the point I was like, do I really want to come back? I know that Ukraine is just next to it's just next to us and there's a war going on there, but why would we want to come back? So like and Hungary gave us a 1 month free visa.
Okay.
That 1 month free visa. And because Hungary was part of the EU, you could use that visa to travel to any other European country that is part of the EU.
Yes.
So I called mom, I was like, can I just let me enjoy this 1 month free visa to the fullest? Like let me use it. And then was like, will you keep quiet then? I don't know that people are back home worried about it. Like we should start coming back home. And I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. So I came back to the plane that took us it was Nigeria that arranged the airline and everything. They dropped us at Abuja, so I stayed with Aunt Funke for a while, and it was very lovely there. And from there I came back to Lagos, and at the point it was like after mommy mommy gave testimony in church that Adapa is back home, this thing. I mean, you just forgot about the time. This thing. So the issue when we got back to Lagos was what would I continue doing? Because I was already in my third year in Ukraine. And when I got back, yes, the school was still running. So we're doing online. So I did online for a year. So that was 4 years. So it was towards the end of the online that Daddy now he mentioned two schools. He mentioned Unimed in Ondo and then Bowen University. And as usual, I knew Unimed. But as usual, it was the first time I was hearing Bowen University. So that was like, oh, that's the school that people is going to, like, it should be nice. And I was like, okay. So, and actually, my entire, like, my mind was more drawn to Unimed, but when we wrote the letter to them, they replied that I could join if I repeat third year. And at that point, I'd already technically finished my fourth year.
Okay.
So it was like going back 2 years to it, like, I don't want that. So when I heard about Bowen, I said, okay, let me just go attend their interview. And I remember that when I did the interview, I botched it. Like when I say botched it, it was I didn't remember what I said inside the interview. And I remember that the provost at that time told me, he said, because when the interview I was doing interviewing for was to just come and write the first professional exam to move on. So he mentioned to me that, are you sure you don't want to repeat third year? That so that you don't waste your money on the exam and fail. And then I looked at him, I was like, I talked about it, I was like, nah, last. I'll write the exam, last, if I fail it, I'll repeat this thing, but let me just try the exam. So I got to school, I got the admission, I got to school, we started preparing for the exams. It's how the other students at that point, because apparently they were when they told them people from Ukraine were coming, they were expecting Ukraine, like actual Ukrainians, white Ukrainians. So when they saw us, they were so confused, like, who are these people? And then we introduced ourselves and all that. So I wrote the exam. I wrote the exam that period. And I remember that I had receipts in what's the anatomy of physiology? I can't remember. I think it was physiology. I passed the other two. So I came back for the receipts, did the receipts, passed it. And then we crossed over to boots, and then I met the provost. We all went to go and meet the provost. And then when the man went, do you know, honest to God, I did not expect any of you to pass the exams. And then I went, sir, you see, I passed the exam. And so at that point that, like after thinking it, and I came up with the motto that I used all through school. I don't know delay. I literally say anytime I'm like getting frustrated or feeling like, oh, this is. I tell
This is
myself
also
that since
overwhelming.
I get yes, I'll tell myself that
I don't
this
know.
daughter of Zion knows no delay. Nothing is delaying me. I'm moving forward. So and after that exam, I told myself that I am not writing receipts again. So all the consequent exams, I was passing it, passing it, passing it. Even when it seems like this girl was playing, no, she was not reading, no. But when the exam come, the result comes out, I still pass it. And yeah, that was basically it. And then now I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. We get that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Your story is it shows the grace and the mercy of God. It's very, very evident on your life
Yeah.
from childbirth up until now. Yeah, as your story in Ukraine as well, how God saw you through and gave you that inner peace, gave you that inner calm. And now you're here today, a doctor, graduate. So glad to share this story with you and to share it with the world. And I believe for someone out there, for people out there, it's going to help you to know that you are a child of Zion and you know no delay. So I'll ask, what is passion to you?
Passion. Mm. Where is another big word? To me, passion is like the zeal, the willingness to want to do something, like not half-heartedly, but the willingness to like put your entire
Being.
being into something, to create something, to see what you are working on to the end. That and not to
That's great.
bodies,
The willingness, the zeal to do something with all of your being, to do it fully. It's your whole heart. Let's put it that way. It's your whole heart. How is passion important in fulfilling purpose?
Hmm. The first thing I will say for to answer that is from what I have noticed, people look at see passion first. People people see your passion first, see your willingness first and
Yes.
foremost before they see any other thing. If you come to if you come to someone and you want to do something and you come very half-heartedly, they respond to you half-heartedly. But if you come with your entire being, like, oh, this, with you come with a plan, you come with a set goal for what you want to achieve, people are always very like
Eager.
interested to like help you. Even when it seems like you're not moving forward, they'll be even be the one to call you that, oh, how is this working? How is that your plan going and this thing? So I feel like it's also relates in purpose. In fulfilling your purpose, if you want to do something that do what God has sent you to do on this planet Earth. If you start very half-heartedly, because you cannot fulfill, let me just put it, you cannot fulfill your purpose fully alone. You need help to fulfill purpose. And in getting that help, you have to show the people that you are ready.
Yes.
You are very ready. If like sorry, my
It's
dad
okay.
doesn't get in trouble.
It's okay.
Um, I'll put my pastor back in Ogumosho.
Okay.
When he first started the church, I didn't know the amount of when he first started because it just started when we moved to Boots. And
So for those listening, Booth is Bowen
Bowen
University
University.
Teaching Hospital. It's in Ogumosho.
so when he first started, because that is his purpose, like his purpose was he's a mentor, he's a teacher, he's supposed like he was even a missionary pastor before he settled in Ogumosho. And at that period, people were not joining the church. People were not joining the church, and it seemed like, oh, how would he move? But then, when when I say he's one of the people that I've seen passion in, he's very passionate about the things he does. So to draw people to this church, he even went as far as, okay, if it's transport that is your issue, I will sort it out. If it's food that is your issue, I will sort it out. Just come.
That's awesome.
So if you want to fulfill purpose, you look at the issues that are stopping the purpose from this, and then you try to sort it out. And because of that, it got people that were very close that became very close to him, that were willing to help him, like no matter the hiccup he faced. Like if he just had one issue like this, he knew who to call. Like, oh please, I need help with this. I need help with this, and people were very willing to come forward to help him. So I think that's how I feel passionate.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You said it the best way possible. You need people to help you to achieve your purpose. And you need to be passionate, first of all, about what you're doing before people can now say they want to invest in you. That's what I would say. Before they want to invest in you, you should have shown a track record that, okay, I want to be a singer. Okay, I've been singing and I've been posting on social media. I want to be an actor. I've been doing monologues and I've been posting on social media. Or you've been doing it somewhere. You've created a stage for yourself before you can now find people that are now okay. This is something that is ready to do, other than someone that just comes and says something out of the blue and says, I want to do this, and you've shown no sign of interest, you've shown no seriousness in that area. No one will be willing to give their 10 naira, or might I say, give their 1 million naira to say, go and do this thing. So that's very well said. What are the things that you are passionate about?
The things that I know I am passionate about. I am very passionate about children.
Also,
I love children so much. Anytime anytime I see a child, especially children less than 5,
okay.
I always look twice. And then I'm like, oh my god, this child is so cute. I'm also passionate about how people's minds work.
Yeah.
I think I've said it multiple times
Told
that
me.
yeah, I love, I get intrigued when I see somebody behaving in a way that is out of the norm, that is not like like how I put it, it's not socially
Accepted.
accepted, yes,
Or someone that is not outgoing.
yes, or somebody that has this very unique perspective to life. Yes, that gets very intrigued. That's why I'm planning on doing specializing in psychiatry in the time in future.
Ah, that's great. That's great. The talk about loving children. I believe you took that from mom. Our mom, she loves children so much. She's in the children ministry. She's a proprietress of Noble Gates International Schools, and she's a children teacher in the church as well. And she has taken after that, also loving children. I see that in you. Whenever you're in school, there's this little boy you always put on your story. Is it Reva?
Remember,
Revaya and other children. I think you were even in the, what do you call it? The children's department at one point. That's awesome. And also, yes, you've told me about loving psychiatry and the way people's minds work. And it's something that I've noticed that you are passionate about, something I've seen, and something that you are working on. How do you stand firm in the conviction of your passion?
how do I start from?
Like, like when not everyone sees that this is what you're passionate about, this is what you want to do. How do you stand firm and not let the noise of the audience to drown in that conviction of this is my passion?
I the first thing I first and foremost, I believe in myself. Let me put it like that.
Okay.
I believe in myself, and I I also believe in God,
Also.
because those are the two things that have literally actually kept me like stuck with my passion, because I know told I've told people multiple times that I want to eventually do psychiatry,
Yes.
and then some of them will come and miss me like, we've heard that we've heard that people that specialize in psychiatry end up acting like their patients, and then like they try to scare me. And even when doing my posting in psychiatry and even pediatry, it felt like it was interesting. No, no, say it was not interesting, but it felt like I was not. getting, like I was not understanding the what they were teaching. I felt confused during that posting, and then at the point I was like, am I sure I want to still do this? Like I wasn't looking at other options. I was thinking neonatology, probably I'll just take care of like this little babies.
Okay.
Chat something still related to children. And then I just remember that now is what I love. You and then let me just put it like this: you cannot have passion if you don't love what you do.
Okay.
Like if you are being forced to do something, or you have to love what you do to have passion. Let me
You have
just
to
put it like
love
that.
what you do to have passion.
Because it's because I know I love children so very much that even if I love not doing psychiatry, I will still do something related to children. That is what I know. So because children are my number one priority. They're my my first passion. Because I was even at the point I was even thinking that probably later or when I will start an NGO or something like that related to children. So yes, you just have to love what you're doing, because with what when you love what you do,
Yes.
no matter what people say, it will be entering 1 year and coming out the other year. It will not really deter you like that. Even if it makes you think twice,
Yeah.
you will think the thinking twice will be how better will I approach it,
Okay.
instead of what else can I do.
Okay.
That is
That's awesome. You need to love what you're doing before you have passion for it. So the love of it is what will kindle that passion and it will set the fire ablaze, and then you now fulfill the purpose in the long run. Aliko Dangote, he also made mention of this. He said he's passionate about what he's doing. He said it's his passion, it's the love for what he's doing that helps him to be the number one wealthiest man in Africa. Not just the number one wealthiest man in Africa, the wealthiest black man in the world. He loves what he's doing, and it's something that stuck with me and made me understand myself and know that I love global speaking, I love writing, I love singing. These three things are the things that I'm passionate about, and I want to use it to share the glory of God in every sphere of life, to every person, to every nook and cranny of the world. So I really appreciate you talking about that. How do you help children to navigate their passion? I know you understand, as you rightly said, you love children, you love, I'll call it mental health, psychiatry, you love mental health. How do you help children navigate their passion? Like these children that they have, they are not socially accepted, the ones that are unique, the ones that are different, the ones that think in different ways. How do you help them navigate their passions?
okay. So for when I deal with children,
Yes.
I study them.
Awesome.
And I think that is what a lot of people fail to do with children, because children are still being molded. They are still experiencing life. So they don't have something like
Definitely.
grounded, something definite. So you at that point you are not supposed to be like, oh, do this, do this. You study them. There are some things that, oh, you obviously will stop them from doing, or you some things you will direct them to subtly, but it's not something you force their entire spirit, soul, and body into,
Okay.
that they will not be able to explore
Things.
other things. So I studied them. Let me just put it like that. And then, okay, let me use the case of autism for children that are not really socially accepted. Autistic children.
Yes.
So most people that are not really don't really understand them very well. They look at them like they are mentally retarded. But that's not really the case for autistic children, because autistic children, they have this hyperfixation.
Okay.
So once they see something they like, that is what they fixate on.
Okay.
Like and you cannot. It's so bad as if they have this particular plate they like to use, they want to continue using that plate, and if you change it, they will know. It has to be the exact same plate, the exact same spoon, the exact same cup. So with children like that, you don't try to force them away from that hyperfixation, because that's when you it the people's belief that they are mentally retarded becomes more profound. You when they are hyperfixated like that, you let them, but then with the hyperfixation, if you want to introduce them to other things, you still leave that thing that they are hyperfixated on, but then introducing other things
as
with
options.
as options for them, because eventually you will notice that some of them, not all do, but some of them release a little on that hyperfixation to move to other things. And then with autistic children, like as usual, especially people that really are very high on the spectrum,
Okay.
they it usually, because those most autistic children, let me put it like this, are usually more artistic,
Yes, that's very true.
are usually more artistic than science, like scientists. But some parents, let me say it here. There are some parents that, especially the parents that come from science background, they always want their children to, oh, come on, like, you must do science, you must do something science related. Like, let them explore. Try multiple different things with them. You will see the one they are very good at, and then you help, and when they fixate on that or want to see something they're very good at, help them with that. Like there was this video I was watching. This child is not autistic, but the parents, whatever the child said, oh, daddy, I want to play football. They will bring the ball. Daddy, I want to do this. Daddy, I want to do this. And they allow the child to experience multiple various things
Things.
until she ended up settling on gymnastics.
Awesome.
And now she's growing, like she has been going for gymnastic classes. She won't be the one to teach her dad some gymnastic moves. So I think that's what we should like do with children to help them to.
Help them weigh their
Yes.
options. Don't just be forceful on
Forceful.
them. Don't be aggravated on them. Take it easy with them and help them understand them. So the understanding of who they are and understanding that okay, this is what I like for this particular moment. And if the parents feel like okay, I think you'll be better in this, is to gently bring it in and still allow them to make their choice.
Yes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. As a passionate medical doctor, what are the systems that are missing in the global healthcare sector?
This is that I'm missing. Okay. Yes. So one thing I've noticed in some doctors
Yes.
is that they are quite nonchalant.
Okay.
And I believe that most of them, their nonchalance come from seeing multiple deaths. Like, so at that point, you get so used to it. Not used to it, but it's like you try to detach yourself from the patient so that you don't get emotionally over involved. But still, I still feel that even though you don't want to get emotionally over involved, there's still a way they are supposed to interact with
Okay.
these patients to make them feel heard. Because a lot of patients, they complain, they go on social media like the doctor is refusing to listen to me, this that, and for this I will always remember that this video I saw was not in Nigeria though. The girl had what they call CRPS. Is a congenital, is one a genetics issue
Okay.
that causes you to feel extreme pain like everywhere. You feel very very bad pain that even an pain relief cannot really help with. And the mom had tried different doctors, and all the pain relief they've been giving the girl had not been working. So a doctor met this mom to do like, because he was working on the case.
Yes.
Like, so she was like he agreed with the doctor that they would do experiments with the girl. Like the girl and the mom agreed.
Yes.
So they were giving the girl some pain relief that were on a higher dose than what a normal human being should be taking. But that was working for the girl. That was what was working for the girl. But the thing with CRPS is that your pain threshold keeps like the it keeps increasing. That even the high dose, you have to be increasing the dosage, increasing the dosage. So that period, like it was working at for a long while. So that period, the doctor traveled out. It was not available when she had another episode. So the mom rushed her to another clinic, and then she brought all the papers from the doctor that she was working with. That, oh, try giving her this dose of this, like this is what is working for the girl. But the doctors refusing to listen. That is one thing that I used to say. Listen. They refused to listen. They refused to investigate. Felt that the woman was abusing her child. So they called the CRPS, the Child Protection Home Service. So I don't remember what they called them. And then they took the girl away from. They separated the girl away from the mom. And the mom kept saying that she's not abusing the child. That this is what she's being given from a different doctor. Like she was trying to explain, they refused to listen. And because the mom, knowing that her child must be in pain somewhere without somebody helping, was so distraught, she became depressed and ended up committing suicide. So when I heard that story, I was like, doctors, I know we feel that, oh, okay, because we spent so many years inside university, we are now big men, big women. They will now refuse to listen. We should try to listen, even if what the person is saying is wrong. At least you will listen. You will try to investigate and come up with your results instead of just like, oh, I'm the doctor. I know what is what is good and what is wrong. That is, I think that is one of the things that I am.
So the system of being heard, being seen by the customers, by the clients, by the patients, you need to understand them. You need to see their track record, see what they've been taking previously, their health records. So a good system that keeps their health records, and for the doctor to be still teachable in that moment, to know that it doesn't matter of all the things that I've learned in the past. This is still something that might come up in another way that I need to understand. I need to understand with the patients, with the parents, if the parents are there, and with the community as well, and the world at large, to be able to create the right results for the patients coming in. That's amazing. That's amazing. I never looked at it that way. I just believe doctors, they know what they are doing. That's one thing I believe, that doctors, they know what they are doing. I've had my little bouts with doctors when I see that they don't know what they are doing, but I just believe that they will figure it out. That's one thing I believe about doctors, that they will figure it out. But there's still lots of things for them to understand and for them to inculcate in the industry, the healthcare sector. That's wonderful. I know you are a great advocate against drug misuse. Can you educate the audience of drug misuse? Nigeria, let me give an example. The use of tetracycline for several issues, the use of flagyl for several issues, or paracetamol cell for several issues. Please educate me, because I need it, and the audience of drug misuse.
Okay, so put it. Let me explain what drug misuse is for. Drug misuse is when you use a prescribed drug, a
Yes.
medically prescribed drug,
Yes.
in the wrong dose at the wrong time for the wrong purpose.
Yes.
So you let me just put it first. You need to always know. There are some drugs that are over the counter drugs. Like you can just go to the pharmacy and you can just buy it.
Okay.
But then there's a point where you start using these drugs that it becomes problematic. Let me use antibiotics for example, because Nigerians and antibiotics, Nigerians
I mean,
and
you can
antibiotics.
shake that table if you want.
Oh, like I'm not yet I've not yet started practicing as a medical doctor, but in my training as a medical student, multiple Nigerians that have come to the hospital nowadays, they are always resistant to a lot of antibiotics, and it is not good. We tell you do not use every little thing antibiotic, even if it's just malaria, like that, because malaria
Yes.
is a parasite. Antibiotic is for bacteria.
Wow.
Completely different things. We'll still carry antibiotic with the anti-malaria and use it.
Wow.
Please.
So,
Therefore, you need to know what exactly, because even us as doctors, we are not supposed to be prescribing antibiotics just anyhow. You have to do a test. We call it culture,
okay.
blood culture, to confirm if you actually have a bacterial infestation and to know what bacteria you have before we give you the appropriate antibiotic. Because not every antibiotic that works for every bacteria. So when I see Nigerians, they just go to pharmacy, doctor give me tetracycline, doctor give me flagyl. Please and please, let's stop it. Let's stop it. Because it becomes, we all say God forbid, but it becomes an issue when you actually have a bacterial infestation and then you go to the hospital and like we want to treat you, but you are resistant to the antibiotics because you have overused it. And the problem is when they actually now start using it, instead of them to complete their dose, they will use it and use it halfway. So they will not complete the entire, like maybe you are supposed to use it for 7 days.
Okay.
They now use it for only 3 days because they are not feeling the symptoms again. So they stop using it. Doing that, even if you actually have the bacteria, doing that, you are training the bacteria. It's like it's like if you watch movie with all these poison testers, they'll be testing themselves with small doses of poison. At the point they get immune to the poison. That's what we are doing to this for this bacteria. If you don't, even if you are using an antibiotic, complete your dose because if you are not completing it, you are introducing small doses of the poison to the bacteria. So at the point they get used to it that even if you complete the dose, even if you increase the dose, it's not going to work
It's going to work.
for the bacteria. So please and please, if you have anything that you feel that is bacteria that is disturbing you and you need antibiotic, please go to the doctor. They will do tests for you and confirm for you. And also another one is typhoid. Typhoid and malaria do not go together. It should not be someone that tell me, oh doctor, I have typhoid and malaria and typhoid. You can have only one because if you have both, you won't be talking to me. If you have both, you will actually be bedbound. So it's actually very crazy. Even anti-malaria now is being misused
Okay.
because a lot of people now they are is it Coartem? Let's say Coartem. Yes, Coartem. What they call it? Just I can't remember the name of the drug. But they have used this so much that a lot of people now are going back to the old anti-malaria. They are going back to quinine, old anti-malaria that we're running away from because
So
people have
chloroquine.
yes chloroquine. People are going back to it, and we're running away from it because people were having reactions and this thing. But because we have overused anti-malaria now, some people like we had like 3 patients last year that were in the hospital, and we tried giving them the anti-malaria. We increased the dose; it was still not working until we had to give them quinine.
So was it quinine
So the quinine that now helps them because that one they've not
used
misused
it before?
this. So you
Wow.
that you get so
You know, I want to sorry to cut in. So with the antibodies, as you said, it can get used to the drugs that what you're saying. It can get used to the malaria drugs,
yes,
and the malaria drugs now become ineffective.
yes.
Is it possible to reverse it? That okay, yes, the malaria drugs are now ineffective, but how do I get my body, or for that person now, not me, how does that person get their body back to the states where I'm thinking in the sense of natural medications like fruits, like exercise, like water, good sleep, diet. Are those things that can be able to
to
reverse it?
reverse the
The
immunity.
immunity.
Yeah, they are up. For now, we don't have a way to reverse all this resistance.
Okay.
That's why we always advise them patients that please, it's better you are not resistant to anything, because if you are resistant, we will end up having to give you a more expensive, more potent drug, which we will not this thing. Because all those things you mentioned, exercise, fruits, they are basically just adjuncts to the actual treatment. Because yes, when we are treating a patient, we'll advise them to move around, to be eating fruits and this, but they are just adjuncts. I'll put it like that.
Adjuncts.
Yes.
Okay.
So what we literally just advise, do not take it at all. If you feel that you actually need it, if you feel that you actually need it, see a doctor.
See a doctor.
See a doctor. Even is as small as paracetamol.
Yes.
There are patients now that you give them paracetamol, paracetamol no go work.
Yes.
They'll start using opioids. They'll be using just you'll be using very strong pain relief that you are not supposed to be using, and you using without doctor's prescription. And I'll be looking at them like, which doctor prescribed this for you in this amount? Please, there are some drugs that you you won't know until you start using it, that you can easily get addicted to. Even prescribe the drugs we use in the hospital. There are some drugs that we just don't prescribe anyhow to patients. We have to study the patient to see if this patient has the tendency to be addicted to it.
Okay.
Because if the patient has the tendency to be addicted to it, we look for an alternative.
Okay.
So that's why we advise patients. It's not just every drug that you see is working for this patient
It will work for you.
that
as
will
well.
work for you as well. Always try to see a doctor. If see a doctor, see a doctor, see a doctor.
So I hope we're hearing drug misuse is very, very bad. It is the worst on the list. Don't do it. See a doctor,
So
see a good doctor.
let me also
Yeah.
include this, because people don't realize this. Soaps,
So
yeah, soaps too. They are medicated soaps.
okay.
Tura,
Yes.
Dettol,
Yes.
Desmoso.
Yes.
Those are all medicated soaps. And during my period in dermatology, the dermatologist made us understand that those are medicated soaps. And like medicated soaps,
Yes.
they are basically the same as medications, drugs that we take. Because our body absorbs these ingredients. So he told us, 'cause I remember it clearly, he told us that a lot of people have some inner resistance to some like some drugs they are taking, or they have this infection in their body, or they have this disease in their body,
Okay.
not realizing that it's from what
In using.
they've been using. That's why in medicine is usually all in common. If a doctor is asking you some questions, don't think that they are trying to poke inside your business. They are asking for a reason. They want to find out the reason for your condition.
Situation.
So, because it can go as far as, which soap did you use last week? Which did you take agbo? Which agbo did you take? What's the content of the agbo? This thing. We ask every question, because medicine is not straightforward.
Okay.
Is never straightforward. It's straightforward, but it's not straightforward in the fact that, because each person has different, their biology is different. Genetics, biology is different. So we have to study each person as they come.
Yes.
Not, oh, this they look like. We don't look at it as, oh, you're a male, you have male problem, you are female, you have female problem. No, we look at you as a person when we are treating you. So that's why honestly, let me say it, it annoys me when patients lie because we are trying to help your situation. Why are you lying? We have, I would say it's here, we have a non-confident, wait, sorry, a confidentiality clause
Okay.
where we cannot go and be spreading your matter to everybody. So if you tell us, it stays with us. Nobody's hearing your situation from our mouth except you are the one that told us to tell another person. So tell us the truth because we're trying to help you. That's why it feels like some doctors end up doing guesswork
Oh, wow.
because like they try all the textbook remedies, it's not working for you. But then there's something that you are supposed to have said that will point us to your diagnosis, but you keep lying. So we're not trying to like look for multiple remedies to help yourself.